What up, everybody? What up, man? I told you we would be back with another fire interview, and that's exactly what we're going to do. We appreciate y'all tuning into the Connectz radio show. I'm your man, the Real Uncanny, on all your favorite social networks, and y'all know what time it is. We're going to bring y'all some heat. We got a little spice today. We're going to bring y'all CEO of Chinga Chang Records, man. He's going to talk to us about some issues he's got going on with finances, dealing with another record label, legendary record label. Plus, we're going to talk about longevity in the game and what it's like working with legends. We got Dan Herman with us right here, right now. Dan, what's going on?
Oh, what's good, man? I'm just calling from sunny Florida. How you feeling, bro?
Oh, man, feeling good, feeling real good. We out here in the Midwest. How's Florida been treating you?
Hey, it's actually been pretty cold, but if I told you the weather, you'd say that's not cold at all. So it's been about in the 70s. You know, it's too cold for us out here, man.
I heard that. So you are the CEO of Chinga Chang Records. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, so, I started the company basically as I graduated high school. I'm from right outside Philly, so I started the company, and when I started it, it really wasn't supposed to be a record label. I really just wanted to put out a Kool Rap album. And
Okay.
yeah, so I mean, I linked up with G-Rap, and the whole time, I'm 20 years old, I'm about 19 years old at the time, and I thought he was going to sign with 50. So I showed up
Right.
there with the track. I showed up there with my G-Unit sneakers for him to sign, and he says, "Yo, Bo, I'm not signing with G-Unit." I said, "Really?" He said, "No." I said, "That's crazy." He said, "Why is that crazy?" I said, "Because you're so dope. I want an album from you. You're my favorite artist." And he's like, "Well, why don't you just do it for me?" And that's how it started.
Wow, that's dope. So how did you link with Kool G?
So G-Rap, let's see, how did I link up with Kool G? That was actually through Premiere. So I used to go up to back when Premiere he bought D&D Studios, and he actually turned it into a place called Headquarters. So
Okay.
it became Headquarters Studios. So actually, I had a little real estate project going on with Premiere's manager at the time. So I would get to go ahead and have that like access into D&D Headquarters Studios and see all types of and crazy people, man. It was just a privilege. And when I was able to go ahead and purchase a beat from Premiere, I got blessed by that. Basically any artist wanted to get on there. You know what I mean? So, I had.
Yeah, that's a plug.
Yeah. I mean, once I had the Premiere beat, I was no longer Dan Herman. You know what I mean? They're all, I was now, everyone wants to get on that beat. You know what I mean? So, basically, I took that beat, I brought it to my favorite artist, G-Rap, and he was like, "You got a Primo beat? Roll up." So
Right.
he's like, "Roll up." I'm like, "No problem." So he was actually living outside of AC. That's not far from Philly. So we recorded the whole album right at his crib.
Oh, that's super dope. So you started a label just to put out a G-Rap album. So what happened with that album? How did that go?
Oh, it was beautiful. I mean, like, see, you gotta understand that, like, I didn't know anything about the industry, and I entered the industry at a time when CDs were basically dead, so
Right.
streaming was just getting started,
Mm-hmm.
and CDs, people were basically, it was like the last era of buying CDs. So it was a challenge getting distribution, but I was finally able to go ahead and reach a deal with Koch. That's what they were called, Koch back then. I think they changed their name a few times, right?
Yeah, they were E1, and then I think it's something else now. But yeah, Koch.
Yeah, they're gonna, by the end of our interview, they're probably gonna have a whole different name or something like that. But you know how Alan Grumblack moves. You know what I mean? He likes to go ahead, switch it out. But I mean, some shady cats, but it's all right. We put it out through Koch. We sold out every record that we pressed. We went out to Pensacola, New Jersey. We pressed them out ourselves, delivered them right to a guy named Bob Perry. Can I curse on here? I don't want to mess up the.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, fuck you to Bob Perry. Yeah, guys. Yeah. So I gave it to Bob Perry. He was actually running Koch at the time, and he thought he could just go ahead and take the records and just screw over a 20-year-old kid from the suburbs. You know what I mean? Because I'm rolling into Koch Studios with flip flops and little polo, and I mean, I'm looking like a sucker to them. But once everything sold, yeah, I mean, I don't blame them. I mean, I looked like a lick.
Right. No,
I basically walked in like lunch meat, you know what I mean? No lawyer, it just had all the copyrights, you know what I mean? And they're like, "You got a Premiere beat? You got a Marley Marl beat?" They're like, you got Haley, how'd you get Hillary Duff's sister on there? Like, they couldn't believe the roster of this album. So they signed it and they wanted to, give me this, deal. But I was like, nah, I'll press them up myself and just give them to you. Right. And they're like, what? Like, because they're looking at me wearing a bunch, like $40 worth of clothes. They don't think I could do it. But I know Pennsauken because I'm from Philly, and Disc Makers was right in Pennsauken. So I just made a deal with Disc Makers. I put it all. We had 4 of my buddies just put it all in the trunks of the Lexus. We went down right in the Midtown, went to Koch's offices, and we just went and delivered it. And they went ahead and they distributed it. Everyone sold out, man. Every record sold.
Wow. And so is that kind of where we are now? Is you guys sold the records and now we need that money back?
Oh no, with that money. So that came out. I think it was 2008. So that was February 2008. So basically, yeah, the situation that was going on with Chris over at Ruffhouse is, he's I guess trying to restart his life or something like that. So he's trying to take old albums, put them back out as vinyl. So that's how I linked up with Chris. So he wanted the G-Rap album as a vinyl.
Nice. Okay. And so that's where that issue arrived, was from this album that you had produced. He's trying to remake it as a vinyl. Obviously, vinyl's making kind of a comeback. I'm a DJ myself. I understand the importance of vinyl and the nostalgia factor, but vinyl's making a comeback for collectors and definitely hip hop heads. So I understand the how there would be a market for it. So he thought this would be a great idea, but you still own the copyrights, right? You still own the records, correct?
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah. I mean, I did everything work for hire. You know what I mean? That was like the one thing, when I made sure to get, this stuff done, I made sure that, all right, I want to own these lyrics and I want to own these beats forever. And want to have, I want my kids to own them. I want my kids to own them. And so I paid, more money, than the average person, because most people, when they do a deal with an artist, usually a licensing deal, you know what I mean? Things like that. Right. Me, I just wanted to go ahead. I wanted everything. I wanted to own everything because I don't know how to, I'm not that talented. I'm not going to learn how to rap overnight. So if I'm going to go ahead and I wanted some intellectual property, you know what I'm saying?
No, that makes a great point, especially, and it's even greater now with the FTX craze and how everybody was getting into the digitalization of intellectual property. So no, you're definitely on board. And what people don't realize is if you own those, like you said, your kids and your kids, they can collect that in perpetuity. There's no, you know what I mean? There's no drop off there as long as the paperwork's right.
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah, I mean, it's just that chain, and it's a really big thing. And I'm glad you mentioned what's the company? FTX,
the collapse. Yeah, and everybody was in the NFT space.
Yeah, so I mean, that turned out to be what, like the biggest scam in history?
Man, bro, right? What was it, $50 billion or something nuts? Some crazy amount of money.
Well, so I mean, I know Chris Sports, he's probably listening. I mean, basically Chris Sports took the exact model of that, and he just straight up, pride on people like myself who own this intellectual property, and then turned it into this Ponzi scheme similar to FTX. You know what I mean? So it's just bananas, and it's real sad because it's like, I mean, imagine seeing Puffy, you know what I mean? Or okay, you know what I'm saying? It's like, imagine seeing Puffy or Jay Prince, like doing like little scams on the internet and shit like that. You know what I mean? That'd be sad.
Yeah, it's unheard of.
He's the first. He's like, he broke the mold. You know what I mean?
And it's a shame. Ruffhouse is a legendary label. I mean, they founded the Fugees back in the day, had a nice run.
Yep.
So yeah, that's sad to hear, man. That's sad. I'm sorry it's going that way. I'm happy to get you here on my platform, help spread the word about that bad business. But it's unfortunate that it had to go that way. But kind of talk to me, man. So after the G-Rap, did you turn around and produce any more music? Were you working with any more artists? Talk to us about that journey.
Yeah, so I mean, basically right after that, I went straight to Atlanta. Linked up with Lil Scrappy. I was actually living at his house for a little bit while he was doing the Love and Hip Hop. And so I signed him, and our whole deal was to go ahead and put out a project. And while that was going on, I was dealing with Amanda Bynes' crazy ass, so she was trying to go ahead, and she was telling everyone, that she wanted to be a rapper. So I was like, all right. I was like, this would be good for Scrappy because it's gonna, we're gonna have a little roster. You know what I'm saying? She can sing the hook. You know, and get Scrappy on there, and then so I was working with Scrappy. And at the same time, I signed Cassidy, so I brought him out, and his album was gonna be called Mr. Hip Hop. But what happened with Amanda Bynes is she went crazy, and she got under a conservatorship. Her parents didn't want her to make music, so so we actually, it was a shame because we had a deal set up with Pilgrim Entertainment. So I was going to be a reality show, and the reality show was going to basically fund the whole project. We had Wycliffe. Yeah, it would have been real dope. But yeah, one day I get a call at 2 a.m. It says she's like, she lit a house on fire or some shit. And then, so TMZ, you know, calling me and shit like that. Yeah. I tried to it's like, they say when you become, and you start getting a position of a CEO, they say you're going to put out a lot of fires, right?
Right. You didn't know.
I didn't know they were being I didn't know they're being fucking serious.
Yeah.
No one told me to be fucking. You know what I'm saying? Literally, I got a call, and not only did I have to have them put the fire out, I had to pay for the power washing, you know, to get that shit off, because my goal was I didn't want her to get put in the nut house, you know.
Right, for sure. Wow. So funding a label isn't, you know what I mean, isn't the easiest thing in the world. It takes a lot of money to market and produce records. Without giving away all the sauce, how are you, you know, you fresh out of high school, you got a Kool G, how did you fund that?
Yeah, I mean, I sold a lot of you know, you just got to hustle, man. I remember being in middle school, I used to go to BJ's, buy those like big pixie sticks, those like super jumbo pixie sticks, get a big box of them. I bring them to school. I remember just selling them, you know, for like $1 a piece, because we didn't have sugar at school and stuff back then. You know what I mean? Now kids are fat as fuck, and they got all types of, you know, sugar. They can buy that out the vending machine. But back in the 90s, you know what I mean? You have a pixie stick or something like that, you know, that's a big deal. So I just always had the hustler's mentality, you know, going back. Then you get into high school, you start selling other things, you know, smokable things like that, you know what I mean? And then, you know, you just save your money, you stack, and, you know, if you're selling something, you're not really blowing all your money. You're living with your parents, you know? So I had that decision, you know, do I go ahead and take this and, you know, get in the student debt, or do I just try to, you know, live out my dream? You know what I mean? So I took that chance. You know, it was a big chance, very risky, you know, but, you know, I feel it worked out pretty good, you know?
No, for sure.
So really, you know, I would tell anyone you just got to stack, because I'm telling you, you're going to run out of money. You'll be halfway through it. You're going to run out of money. You got to have another hustle. You got to go back to that other hustle and then allocate that money back into the label. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, you're going to end up like Chris Swartz, looking like a bum, just straight robbing people. And no one wants to be like that guy.
Nah, not at all. Another thing that the press release kind of mentioned was you were spending a lot of time over in China. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, man. You know, China's a beautiful country. You know, I really, they really embraced me over there. They really, you know, took me in. I was over there 7 years. It's just the culture I fell in love with. You know, the women fell in love with me. You know, it's so. I mean, that was always nice. You know what I mean? Because you know, it's like I remember being around. I mean, you gotta understand. I remember being around all types of bougie people. I come to. You know, they don't. I don't fit in there, but you know what I'm saying. But in China, it was totally different. You know, I was really embraced and stuff like that. And I worked with some companies out there, really just doing, you know, helping them out. You know, with being like a liaison and things like that. You know, for companies. But at the same time, I was still running the label. So I mean, on my couch in China, when I get a call from that Mac Miller died. I immediately, you know, went on the, you know, I'm saying, I don't know how to phrase it. You know, I went on a kind of like I got real emotional, you know what I'm saying? Because I remember I brought Mac to D&D for Primo, and they actually recorded a song together. I hope it gets released. I don't know if it ever was released or not, but it was supposed to be it. So I always have that memory, you know, with Mac and stuff. So when I found out he died, I don't care if I'm in China. I don't care if I'm in Mars. I don't care if I'm in a little, you know, smart house with fucking, you know, Elon, you know, I don't care where I'm at. Something's got to happen. And his people just were not memorializing him. You know what I mean? They were not doing anything. So I took it on myself. I went ahead and hired DJ Clockwork. That was his longtime DJ. I rented out the place in Pittsburgh, you know, put out the press release. Next thing you know, man, it was filled. I get a call from his parents. I haven't talked to them in, you know, 4 years, and definitely haven't talked to them 4 days after, you know, their son's passing. So, actually, I mean, I'm sorry, a year, you know, from his son's passing. So, you know, it was basically like, all right, you know, I got the blessing of the parents. No one else is doing shit. You know, I'm going to go ahead and put together a memorial, you know, so it was beautiful. I couldn't attend myself, but even though I was in China, I was still able to go ahead and be a part of music and do something, you know what I'm saying, for a brother, you know?
Absolutely. And that's the power of the network. Talk to us about how you know, put yourself in position with such powerful people, because networking is everything.
It's just being a good dude. You know, I mean, there's just really a lot of weirdos in this industry. And I think just by the way I grew up and just hanging out with like I'm just a normal guy. I never pretended to be from the ghetto. You know, I never tried to be something I'm not. You know what I mean? So it's like whenever I walked in the cops, I told you I'd be in flip flops and, you know, like a polo with like holes in it and stuff like that, because I never tried to impress people. You know, when Sean Price would take me out to Brownsville and I'd be around that like 80 dudes, you know what I mean? I'd stick out like a sore thumb. I never got nervous once because I always gave out this energy of just like, yo, I'm just part of the culture. I never tried to be special. I never tried to stand out. And I think that energy that I put out, I think I got it back. So, you know, that's how I was able to make a lot of connections. You know what I mean? I think they liked my energy. They liked what I brought to the table. They saw potential. And that's really all it is. So I mean, it's why anyone who wants to be in the game, wants to start a label, wants to go ahead and do anything in this business, you know, just be yourself. Don't try to, you know, gas up yourself. Don't try to, fabricate your resume. Just be yourself. People will respect it. You'll form relationships. And if you maintain those relationships, sky's the limit, like Biggie said, man.
Nice. No, you kind of got into the next thing I was going to ask you, but I do want to ask you, you're originally from the Philly area, as am I. Where did you come up with Chinga Chang as a name for your record label?
Yeah. So it's crazy. So, I mean, Chinga Chang was basically, it's like when people owed me money in school, and we're in class, like, you know what I mean? I give them something on the front or something like that, but teachers started, you know, catch on, stuff like that. The vice principal would be searching my locker every day and stuff like that. So I had to have a little code. So, yo, Mark, you got that Chinga Chang?
Right.
You know what I mean? You got that Chinga Chang? But after school, man, after school, why you don't think? And the teacher would never know. You know what I mean? It's all about that Chinga Chang, baby. And, you know, I think there's a blogger out there, a flamboyant blogger named Perez Hilton, who used to always call me racist in these blogs and try to say, it was anti this, anti that. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna prove all these motherfuckers wrong. Get on a plane to China right now and see how racist, you know. So,
right. Yeah, and then 7 years later, no doubt.
Yeah, thank you, Perez Hilton, wherever you are, whoever's man, you know, whatever man's lap you're sitting on. I appreciate it, brother.
I'm not mad at it. No, I definitely had to ask though. So talk to me now. We're moving into 2023. Is Chinga Chang Records still operating? And if so, what are you guys looking for in the new talent?
Yeah, so I mean, we just actually, so what we did, we put out a Griselda project with El Camino. It's called Walk by Faith. Nice. It's entirely produced by Camouflage Monk. He did a lot of production of West Side Gun for the Hitler Wears Hermes situation, you know, projects and things like that. So yeah, he produced the whole album except for one track. One track was done by one of Papoose' favorite producers, a guy named Stan the Man. Love him. He's a great producer. So that came out in 2020, but we really, you know, I was over in China, so we put that out kind of, you know, it's a little slowly, you know, so, you know, it's coming, it rolled out, I say October 2020. But the beautiful thing about, you know, the Griselda crew and everyone around them is like their fan base is so strong that it's like, even though it came out in 2020, now we're on 2023. It's like people are finally trying to, like, they're catching on to who El Camino is, and they're checking out his previous work, you know, so it's a beautiful thing. And unfortunately, I also gave that record to Chris Swerve.
Ah, that's all right though. El Camino, Griselda, man. Griselda's a dope crew. No, that's what's up, man. So you are back stateside though.
Currently right now, I'm back. I'm over in Miami right now. And oh shit.
All right, yeah, I see the cherries and berries. Oh shit.
Yeah, you can see it's a little wild out here right now. No, I'm just joking. No, it's a nice. I'm out in Sunny Isles, a little right outside Miami. It's you know, I kind of stick out here like a sore thumb. You know, I mean, everyone out over here is like 70 years old. You know, I mean, they're like, "What's this like 30-something-year-old dude doing here, man?" It's but yeah, I'm back stateside. You know, it's just too crazy right now in China, man. Everybody's getting sick, and I mean, it's crazy all over the world. But no, I'm glad to be back in America, and I'm glad really to go, you know, DEFCON 4 on this industry, man. You know, I'll quote my man Kanye. I can say that because I'm Jewish.
That's awesome. So, okay. So what can we look forward to from both Dan and Chinga Chang Records?
No doubt. Well, I mean, what you're going to see is I can guarantee you 3 albums this year, all right? Now, I'm going to say it's going to be definitely one of them is probably one of the most, I would say, the most lyrical man over in Los Angeles. He's going to have a project coming out, but it's going to be exclusively produced by a New York producer. So it's a beautiful thing. Mobb Deep. Now, I'm not saying any names, Havoc. I'm not saying any names or nothing like that or anything like that. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? That's going to come out. You know what I mean? And we're going to put that out directly through Sony. So that way we don't got to deal with no, you know, scammers like Chris Sports, you know what I mean? No, you know, broke ass, bum ass, you know what I'm saying, begging for money, stealing records type people like Chris Swartz. You know, we don't want to deal with them. It was a mistake, man. You know, it's like you always, you know, Sony's always looked out for me. You know, they always took care of me, and they just didn't have a, you know, didn't have a vinyl situation. And, you know, me, you know what I'm saying, I grew up looking up to Chris Swartz, you know what I'm saying, because he's from Philly. So I really didn't feel any hesitation, you know, to do it. And I really thought he owned the pressing plant. I didn't know it was all fake, you know. Yeah. So I bought into his scam. I signed his contract, but I really just signed the contract and I gave the rights to a man who has, you know, he's in no position to go ahead and really put these albums out and do anything with them. You know, so. It's a shame, you know, that's a shame, but it's all good because, like I said, I mean, like, you know, I don't need to have the best lawyers because he can't afford any lawyer, you know, so it's like, it's going to be, you know, lawyers versus himself, you know what I mean? So it's like, because he can't pay, and that's the thing, you know, you don't get a public defender for copyright infringement, you know?
No, you do not. You have to pay. You got to pay. And those can be costly proceedings. They're usually long proceedings. So yeah, best of luck to you. I hope everything goes well regarding that situation. If I'm an upcoming artist or I'm a promoter or I'm a venue owner and I'm looking to work with you, where do I find you? How do I contact you?
Yeah, just hit me up on Dan Herman 7 on Twitter. I made that account when the day Vic got signed to the Eagles, so I had to add that 7. So that's, you know, he's a, you know, I love Michael Vick, man. I wish he'd come back just for the hell of it, man. But it's yeah, man. Dan Herman 7, DanHerman 7. I'm always around. You always hit me up. You know what I'm saying? I'm really looking for dope artists. Like I'll be in Memphis next week. I'll be out there. So anyone out in Memphis who's looking to go ahead, you know what I'm saying, and you know, look for a situation, you know, I'm down to help you out.
Bet it up. You got any we're actually gonna connect down at South by Southwest. You have any plans to be down there this year?
Shit, man, I haven't got the invite yet, man. I'm waiting I got to wait for the invite. How's that work out? I've been out of the country so long, man. It's like everything's just so beautiful, you know. I'll hit up I'll have a Big Mac and I'll be happy. So yeah, when is South by Southwest?
I believe it's the middle of March. I think it ends the 19th. I think it's that whole week before.
Are you going?
We'll be down there for a couple of days. We got a couple unofficial events to attend and kind of host. And yeah, I'll be there.
All right. They got some Banana Kush down there?
You know it. You know it.
All right, I'm there. I'm there. All right, we're gonna smoke some banana kush. We're gonna get down. All right,
My man,
I'm
I'm
gonna let you
excited.
listen to this new project. We're gonna smoke some of that banana kush. I'm gonna bring up some down in Florida. I'm gonna bring you some Velvet Glove #4. You're gonna love it, man.
Oh shit. All right. I'm with the shits. I need some good smoke. You know, Midwest gets it a little light sometimes. So yeah.
Hey, man. Hey, it's all good. It's all good. I'm sure you know where to grab the good shit, so I ain't worried about you. But I promise you, when I see you at South by Southwest, I'm gonna have a jar of that shit just for you, bro.
My man, we're gonna link up a little later this year. It was a pleasure having you on the show. You are connected, you are respected. We'll definitely keep our eyes out for Dan Herman and everything Chinga Chang Records has coming.
No doubt. I appreciate you, bro. And let's just say a big shout out to you and everything you do. And Chris Sports, I know you're listening. I can't wait to see your broke ass in court, baby.
All right, y'all heard it, man. We told y'all it was gonna get a little spicy tonight here on the Connectz radio show, man. I do want to shout out the homie Q, my man Q, the question for helping put this one together for me. Remember, you can catch playback from the Midwest Connectz and the Connectz radio show everywhere you catch your favorite podcast, including iHeartRadio, Spotify, Podbean, Apple Podcasts, and more. And of course, stay tuned, man. We got some more fly shit coming. Midwest Connectz. If you ain't connected, you ain't fucking respected. Y'all know the drill.